Hello, dear students. Today, let's learn Unit 5, The 100 Dresses 1, written by Elser Esther. Let me begin with a question. How do we judge the people around us? By their money, wealth, and possessions? Or is there something of more enduring value to look for in a person? This story is a sensitive account of how a poor young girl is judged by her classmates. Vanda Petronsky is a young Polish girl who goes to school with other American children in an American town. These other children see Vanda as different in many ways. Can you guess how they treat her? Vanda Petronsky sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room number 13. Only rough boys who didn't get good marks sat there. It was this corner where there was more scuffling of feet and most roars of laughter when anything funny was said. It was also the corner where one could find most mud and dirt on the floor. Nobody knew why she chose to sit in the last row. Perhaps she came from a place, Boggins Heights. It was the place where poor immigrants lived. Her feet were usually covered with dry mud. Nobody really thought much about Vanda when she was in the class. Today, she was not in her seat, but no one noticed her absence. Her schoolmates thought of Vanda only when she was outside. Only outside the school, they waited for Vanda to have fun with her. After 2 days, Peggy and Maddie noticed that Vanda was not there in the class. Peggy was the most popular girl in school. She had pretty clothes and her hair was curly. Vanda Petronsky was rather a strange name for the children in room number 13. They didn't have names like that. They had names easy to say like Thomas, Smith, or Allen. Vanda didn't have friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress. It was clean but never ironed properly. Peggy would always try to make fun of Vanda in a most courteous manner. She would ask, "How many clothes did you say you had hanging up in your closet?" Vanda would answer, "100." Then Peggy would ask in a teasing but polite manner, "All silk, I bet?" Vanda would reply that they were all silk and of all colors. Then, before Vanda had gone very far, all the girls would burst into shrieks and peals of laughter. The only dress Vanda wore was a blue one. What a story, they would say, meaning that she was telling a lie. They would again ask Vanda teasingly, "How many shoes?" Vanda would reply, 60 pairs. Maddie was not like Peggy. She didn't like this business of asking Vanda how many dresses, shoes, and hats she had. But she kept quiet because Maddie was poor herself. She often wore old clothes usually given by someone else. She felt embarrassed when Peggy questioned Vanda in a mocking, polite voice. She wished Peggy would stop teasing Vanda Petronsky, but she doesn't have the courage to say so because she pictured herself in the schoolyard, a new target for Peggy and the girls. Peggy might ask her where she got the dress that she had on. Maddie would have to say it was one of Peggy's old dresses that she was wearing. Maddie began to wonder who was going to win the drawing and coloring contest. For girls, this contest consisted of designing dresses. Peggy was the favorite as she drew better than anyone else in the room. Everybody thought that Peggy would win the prize. The next day, when they entered the classroom, they found there were drawings all over the room. There must have been 100 of them. They were all lined up. Miss Mason announced the winners. She told them that one girl drew 100 designs, all different and all beautiful. She declared that Vanda Petronsky was the winners of the girls' medal. Vanda had been absent from school for some days and was not there to receive the prize. Miss Mason asked the children to file around the room quietly and look at Vanda's beautiful drawings. Peggy and Maddie noticed that particularly two blue and green dresses which Vanda used to talk about were displayed there. My students, the lesson explains that we should not mock someone's helplessness. Instead of that, we should find out the skills of the person and appreciate him or her. Thank you.